Hello everyone, and welcome to our virtual training program. In this module, we will be discussing problem-solving skills. Problem-solving is a set of important skills which include identifying the problem, thinking of strategies that can be used to solve the problem, and carrying out those select strategies. Why is effective problem-solving important? There is a lot of research in relation to the benefits of effective problem-solving skills. Research has found that people with effective problem-solving skills tend to use rational, problem-focused coping in stressful situations. Additionally, effective problem solvers report a greater sense of control over their health and report lower levels of depression under stressful circumstances. They also tend to be more assertive, have higher confidence, and are more proactive compared to individuals who do not engage in effective problem-solving strategies. Research has shown that if caregivers do not have an effective problem-solving style, their care recipients also tend to have a greater likelihood of physical problems, including secondary complications due to their injury or condition. So, having effective problem-solving skills results in less distress, greater health, and higher life satisfaction for both the caregiver and the care recipient. So how do you problem solve effectively? There are 5 steps for effective problem solving, and they are problem orientation, problem definition, creating solutions, making a decision, and evaluating outcomes. First is problem orientation, which is how you think about a problem. Problem orientation is the motivational and emotional step of problem solving. In fact, although an individual may experience negative emotions, such as anxiety or depression, when first encountering a problem, warding off these negative emotions and promoting positive feelings is essential to move on to the next steps of problem solving. Effective problem solvers may express confidence in confronting their situation, and they may use positive statements. On the contrary, an ineffective problem solver may react impulsively and carelessly, and they may talk in negative ways that sound pessimistic. Positive self-talk, regulating emotions, and inhibiting impulsive reactions are necessary to motivate yourself toward the process of problem solving. The second step of effective problem solving is problem definition, how you define the problem and set goals. In order to define the problem, effective problem solvers try to state the problem as clearly as possible. They are objective and specific about the behavior, situation, timing, and circumstances that make it a problem. To guide this process, try answering some of the questions on the slide. For example, what about this situation makes it a problem for you? What are the obstacles? Is the problem something happening right now? Is the problem something I have control over? And remember, the more specific you are with your problem definition, the more likely you will be to find an effective solution. Another way to define your problem is by using this problem grid. As you can see, this grid takes into consideration 3 points of view, from your own perspective, from the perspective of a partner or a good friend, and from the perspective of an outsider, to provide a more objective viewpoint. For each of these, try answering the following questions. What is the goal? What is different when the problem is not occurring? What is the evidence or the signs that the problem no longer exists? This grid helps effective problem solvers think from different perspectives and understand what their goal is. The third step of effective problem solving is creating solutions. In this step, try to generate as many possible solutions and options to solve your problem. This is the brainstorming phase of problem solving. Creativity is necessary during this step. If you allow yourself to be creating during this step, you may come up with some options that you wouldn't have thought of before. Thinking of as many possible solutions without pondering on the quality of these solutions is a great strategy to think outside of the box and find the best option for you and your family. Step 4 is making the best decision. Now that you have a long list of creative solutions to your problem, eliminate the less desirable alternatives. A good number of solutions to keep is 4. After finding the most appealing solutions, list all the options in order of personal preference and start thinking about the advantages and disadvantages of each. You may create a grid like this, writing down each of your potential solutions and listing possible advantages and disadvantages. Or, you may want to be more specific. This is a great resource for analyzing solutions and deciding which is the best one for you. This grid takes into account 6 different considerations that you may want to keep in mind when analyzing your options. These are personal effects, social effects, short-term effects, long-term effects, likelihood of success, and likelihood of implementation. For each of these considerations, you may provide a value. A plus sign represents generally positive consequences in that area. A negative sign represents generally negative consequences, and a 0 is neutral. Here is an example of how one may fill out this grid. Rachel is the primary caretaker of her brother, who recently suffered from a traumatic brain injury. She was able to identify her problem and stated,
"I am not patient with my loved one, and I tend to get upset. My goal is to be more patient and be positive."
As you can see, Rachel identified 4 possible solutions. The one that seems to have the most positive outcomes is the second, which states do some deep breathing exercises before I talk. As such, for Rachel, the best solution may be number 2. However, keep in mind that these solutions are personal. While one may work for Rachel, it may not work for you or someone else. So, what is the criteria for the best solution? The best solution is one that solves the problem, but also maximizes positive consequences while minimizing negative ones. And lastly, the best solution has a high likelihood that you will actually carry it out. In other words, it has to be feasible and realistic for you and your family. Be mindful of the fact that best solution may not always be perfect, and it may not always work to solve your problem. However, going through these steps and asking yourself these questions will increase the likelihood that the solution will be effective in solving your problem. Last is evaluating outcomes. Once you implemented and tested your chosen and best solution, think about the outcomes. This is a time for self-reflection. It may help to answer these questions. How well did the solution meet your goals? How did the solution affect you personally? How well did you predict the consequences of the solution during your problem-solving process? Overall, are you satisfied with the solution? Being optimistic is necessary for effective problem-solving. The person who is pessimistic and upset is going to have a hard time thinking of solutions, as they will be caught up in being aggravated or hurt. Appreciating these emotions as a signal that there is a problem, rather than the emotions being the problem themselves, is important to overcome a stressful situation. The negative emotions associated with a problem are signals for you to stop and think. What did you feel and think before the problem occurred? While it was occurring? And after it occurred? Remember, problems are normal, ordinary, inevitable events in life. Problems are challenges or opportunities for personal growth or self-improvement instead of threats to be avoided. There is a solution to most problems, and you are capable of finding the solutions and implementing them successfully. Thank you for your attention during this presentation. We hope that the information included in this video was helpful to you.